I do think I must disappoint people when they meet me, because nobody comes to Edinburgh looking for Ian Rankin. They're looking for this big, gruff, boorish detective who's kind of dark and dangerous to know. And they just get me sitting in the back room of the Oxford bar, drinking a pint and reading a book.
People read books and they conflate the image of the characters with the author, and it's an active imagination. Although you might draw on some of the facts of your own experience, what you do with them in the process of imagination is you transform those facts, you make them work for you in a different way. And sometimes it's convenient to use something that's from your own past because you're working on so many things that are complex and difficult and different that it's quite nice to have something that anchors you to something you understand and you know and you relate to, but it doesn't mean that the character is you in any meaningful sense.
No, I mean, I suppose that right back at the start I went for that right about what you know. And I thought, well, why wouldn't I give the guy a similar background to me? Why wouldn't you have come from the same place as me? Is that laziness? I mean, I don't know if that's laziness or not, but it just felt to me like there were a lot of people in Fife at the time when I was growing up who had the same life experiences he had, who did go and join the police or who did go and join the armed forces or go and work at Rosyth Dockyard, because those were the jobs that were available. Well, the first person who looks at my manuscripts is my wife, and she picks up on a lot of stuff. I mean, in the latest one, I had a murder in a hotel room in 1978 in Edinburgh, and there was a key card, and she went, they wouldn't have had key cards in 1978. She just knows this stuff, you know. So I went and checked, and she was right. So it's physical keys, not key cards. So a lot of that, those wee details. That's why I don't write historical novels, by the way, because it's just such a pain. There's so much research you've got to do. How much did a pint of beer cost in 1973? I don't know. So a lot of that stuff does get picked up, but yeah, I mean, I get, people tweeting me and saying, oh, there's not a footrest at the front of the Oxford bar, or that bus doesn't quite go to there, or that road's been shut for the last 2 years. The problem with writing about a real city in real time. But we can always fall back and say, yeah, but in the fictional world, in the fictional Edinburgh, in the fictional Scotland.
In our universe.
Yeah. I've never watched a TV rebus because I didn't want actors to interfere with my characters that were in my head. But, I hear good reports. Fans were much happier with him than with John Hannah. I mean, they still did things like folk would go, he was supposed to be Edinburgh Airport, but it was obviously like Glasgow Airport because the motorway's right outside it and stuff like that. So people were still picking up on stuff, and I would just say, well, it's nothing to do with me. I didn't write it or direct it, sorry. They even made him a Hibs fan, which he's not in the books. But they did it only to have a laugh at him because actually Ken Stott's a Hearts fan. That's the only reason he did it. He's not actually a football fan at all. I was trying to steer clear of all of that in the books. Siobhan's a Hibs fan. No, but your dad was he worked...
My dad was a scout for Wraith Rovers. My dad discovered Jim Baxter. He discovered him for Crossgate's Primrose and signed him for Wraith Rovers, and of course he went on to have his meteoric career at Rangers and for Scotland. Probably the greatest player Scotland's ever produced. And so in Kirkcaldy, doesn't matter how many books I sell or how many prizes I win, I go into Valenti's chip shop, they introduce me to the staff as, that's Jim McDermid's lassie, he signed Jim Baxter.
Just stick at it, Val. Eventually they'll be saying, eventually.
I doubt it. The next book on the stocks is a Karen Pirie book. That's what I'll be writing next year. I've got a great story idea for that, which actually I picked up when I was up north visiting you in Cromarty.
All right.
Yeah, I got talking to one of your local shopkeepers who told me a really fascinating tale, and that's the core of what's grown into my idea for this next book. I'm not going to tell you what it was like.
No, but I mean, it's great. If you're a writer, the material's just sitting there waiting for you to stumble across it.
Ideas are everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, people say, where'd you get your ideas from? It's like, you can't stop stumbling over them. You walk into a shop, you walk into a pub, you listen to a conversation, you eavesdrop somebody else's conversation, you watch a couple having an argument in a restaurant. It's all there, it's all ideas, it's all fodder. I discovered when I started writing full time that I can't write 2 books with the same central character back to back because I'm bored with them. I have a very low boredom threshold. I couldn't do what you do. I certainly couldn't have done what Sue Grafton did, start with A and work her way through the alphabet. But
what's she up to now?
She's doing next year's Z. I think what it is, it's like your friends. When you're not with your friends, you're not thinking about them all the time. Even if they're really strong characters that play a big role in your life, you don't think about them every day. When you're about to see them, you think about them. When you're with them, obviously you think about them. But when you're not with them, they're sort of out of sight, out of mind mostly. The same with the characters. If I'm not actually writing them, I'm not thinking about them.
No.
No.
I take it I'm like an alcoholic, I take it one at a time. I mean, I could walk out here tonight and be run over, and that'd be the end of that. So,
It's been so cheerful that keeps them going.
Yeah, I know, it's that fine Fife sensibility, I think it is. Keeps your feet on the ground. No, I mean, one of the nice things about the Euro is that I've written a few things I wouldn't otherwise have done. I've just written a kind of radio drama type thing set in 1962. Having said that, I don't like doing historical research. And that was a challenge because it was just different format and different characters and different time period. And a Christmas short story for a magazine. I like setting things at Christmas because it's a wee bit cheerier. Cheery Christmas story with Rebus in it, yeah.
Great. What could possibly go wrong with that?
Ho. I haven't been the captain of the Scotland team for the last 3 years, and we've been in this downward trajectory since I took over. I think I might have to give up that. I might give that up and get some fresh blood in there, if not ringers. I think ringers have been been talked about.
We have been discussing that. And I'm
determined that Scotland's going to win this year.
I'm part of a band now, Fun-Loving Crime Writers, and we'll be doing a performance at Bloody Scotland. So our debut is at the Edinburgh Book Festival on the 23rd of August. It's free. It's first come, first served in the Spiegel tent, and there's 5 or 6 of us, depending on how you count it. There's me and Stuart Neville, Mark Billingham, Luca Vesti and Doug Johnson, and Chris Brookmeyer joins us for a couple of songs on vocals. I'm a vocalist and I play the shaky egg. The shaky egg, the
shaky egg. Come on, everybody knows the shaky egg.
Sorry, that's an unfortunate gesture, isn't it?
We had Rebus Fest a few weeks ago in Edinburgh, which went really well, and that's it. I think, as far as I know. I mean, I've spent a lot of this year travelling around the world doing festivals, talking about 30 years of Rebus. But it doesn't make the next book any easier to write.
My event at Bloody Scotland is to talk about the 30 years, but it's kind of weird. It's hard to believe, isn't it? You look back and think, how did that 30 years go?
Yeah.
But here's to the next 30.
Yeah, here's to the next 30.